like I said, stop using. Want me to prove it to you scientifically? Let's get into it with your little feelings and all your little feelings with your little self. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible, you guys. In this video, I am going to give you an official part 2 to the first video that I made on stop using rice water because you're poisoning yourself slowly. Now, as you probably noticed recently I went ahead and disabled comments until I got ready to release this video. I've had a couple of videos that, you know, I got quite a few trolls on, but I have not had any video give me as much disrespect as that rice water video. Why, I do not know, but you know, one of the main concerns in that video was like, oh, I don't have a right to talk, because at the time I was wearing a short pixie cut and I had a relaxer. So I am from Detroit and I am a big believer in putting your money where your mouth is. I believe that I could show you guys way better than I can tell you. The initial rice water video, it was shot 5 months ago. So that was 100% relaxed hair, blonde and everything. And in that video, I told you guys that you are growing bacteria in your house. And people are like, oh my God, it's good bacteria, da 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 da, things of that nature. Well, I'll tell you something. There's an actual scientific name for the rice water that you're growing in your house. It's a rather long name, so I'll leave the longer scientific name here, but it's called lactic acid bacteria. So when you grow rice water, I was joking around like, oh, it's arsenic water because you are extracting the arsenic out of the water. What is lactic acid bacteria? It's not always necessarily a bad thing. Lactic acid bacteria is found in the body. If you are working out and let's say you're like overdoing it and your body doesn't have anything really left, like any organic energy left, your body starts to create lactic acid to kind of fuel off of to push it through, okay? But if you are a person who has diabetes or any of the diseases that I'm going to list here, do not necessarily benefit from an overindulgence of lactic acid. Now, all of the people that were in the comments that were like, oh, rice water works excellent for me, it works great for me, most of those people were people with high porosity hair. And when you have high porosity hair, you have a cuticle that is always open. So it's always straining because the cuticle is supposed to be relaxed and flat. But your cuticle is always straining and open. So the lactic acid bacteria that you have grown in your house makes your hair feel a little better. It makes it feel relaxed. The bacteria works for the cuticle because the cuticle is damaged. So the lactic acid bacteria is alive and swimming around and acting as a conduit of the normal proteins that are supposed to be in your hair when you have high porosity damaged hair. That is the reality of it, okay? So I told you guys that I really meant it. And when I said do your research, I was under the assumption that you guys would then move further from what I said and say, oh, what is rice water? What is rice water? Because all of us are just so concerned about the positive effects of it, how it could possibly clear your skin and all of those things. But I will also have you know that there are diseases, okay, very lethal diseases that can come from an overindulgence or overproduction, or the body having, or the blood existing, the blood containing an overindulgence of lactic acid bacteria, okay? For example, whether you have high porosity hair or not, let's say you're like a health nut, right? And like you're always working out and things of that nature, and you're always doing like not short burst activity but muscle building and really strenuous like workouts and stuff like that, your body has high levels of lactic acid, which isn't a good thing, okay? So if you are putting unorganically grown in your kitchen, uncontrolled substance, you're not a scientist, and you're growing lactic acid bacteria in your house because on YouTube you saw rice water, because nobody gives you the scientific name. They only tell you rice water. You guys have no idea what you're growing in your house. So my passion in that video came from that. Everybody just looks at the benefits. A drug that you look at on TV, of course they tell you all of the amazing things that it does, but then it goes past all of this disclaimers really fast.
Like may cause diarrhea, short stomach pain, farts in the middle of the night while your boyfriend is sitting right next to you and you can't pretend that it was somebody else.
It lists all of the disclaimers, but here on YouTube, that is not a requirement. You can make a video about anything that you want to, and you are not legally obligated to list the disclaimer. Okay, all you guys know about rice water and the fact that that lactic acid, because remember, lactic acid is what helps your body to go and to keep going whenever you are working out. However, lactic acidosis, okay, and lactic acidosis is an overindulgence of lactic acid in the body. So if you are a person that has any type of liver condition, using rice water can literally be lethal for you. Lactic acidosis in short, and if you guys want a video on that, then I'll go deeper into that, but it's basically when your body has an overindulgence of lactic acid and it slows down other functions in the body, and it prevents the liver from cleansing the blood and getting the lactic acid out of the blood. So if you are diabetic, or if you have anything that hurts the liver, or anything that slows down your liver functions, or anything in that nature, if your liver is weak in any way, shape, or form, using rice water in your hair on a daily basis could literally be lethal for you. Literally. It is a proven fact. You guys go do your research on lactic acidosis, okay? Because it is a real life disease. And this is another thing. Whenever you go into the doctor's office, like let's say you go into the emergency room, if you're diabetic or anything, if you're having any type of anything, and you know how they're running different tests on you, one of the main tests that they're going to test you for, the levels of lactic acid in your body, because high levels of lactic acid show evidence of other diseases, okay? You guys still want to argue and say that rice water is like super good for you and that it doesn't have any health benefits. You're wrong. Guys, you're wrong. And in that video, all I was trying to let you guys know, like I said in the end, but everyone was so hell-bent on,
I'm like, oh, she know what she talking about, oh, she know what she talking about.
And nobody really wanted to do the research for yourself. If you know all of your medical history, you know that you don't have any type of liver disorders or anything like that, then I guess if that's what you want to do, then go ahead and do it. But understand that lactic acid is a natural thing that happens in the body, and the liver works to get rid of lactic acid in the body. And you guys are growing lactic acid bacteria in your house to grow your hair. Even though when you go into the doctor's office, if you go to the emergency room right now and they take your blood, one of the first tests that they're going to give you is testing the levels of lactic acid in your body. And you guys are growing it in your kitchen and putting it in your hair so it can grow. Interesting. Okay, so that is what I meant by stop using rice water because you're poisoning yourself a little bit at a time, depending on what your health is like. And a lot of times bacteria or any disease or whatever, those bacteria are always all around, okay? And our immune system is always working because our body is like amazing. It's a well-oiled machine, and our immune system is always working to get rid of those bacteria and get rid of those diseases and making sure that they don't escalate into something else. So understand that if you're a person whose body does not respond good to lactic acid, and you're growing lactic acid bacteria in your home, and you're putting that in your head, and you have a weak liver or anything around that, like I said, I'm going to list the diseases here, and I'm also going to make an ebook for you guys to download, a free ebook for you guys to go and download so you can read it and get into it. Don't quote me on when it's going to be available, but when it is, it's going to be in the description box, okay? But that's it, you guys. So yeah, I don't know know. If people still want to argue about it, I mean, if y'all do, then whatever, that's on you. I know a lot of people were like,
oh, well, she don't know what she talking about because her hair relaxed and it's colored.
well, my hair is colored, but it's not relaxed anymore. And I've grown my hair out with natural herbs from the earth, extracting the nutrients from herbs and infusing them into oils to grow my hair out, okay? All of those videos with all of the oils that I made can be found in the description box below, you guys. You can go check them out. I have a couple of free ebooks with a couple free recipes in it, but my really detailed ones are, you know, they're not free. They're like $2 or $3 here because it's very detailed step-by-step information and ingredients, the measurements, all that stuff. I know people got offended in that rice water video for whatever reason. I know some of the grandkids that were talking crap are in this video because for whatever reason, a lot of people just cannot handle people being real. That about me will not change. I never say anything that I cannot back up with scientific fact. There are great parts about lactic acid. However, you do not know if whether or not you are a person whose body and whose liver can tolerate levels of lactic acid, and you are not a professional scientist and you do not have the proper measurements to control what levels of lactic acid bacteria you are growing in your house. So now that you have a name to the bacteria that you guys are growing, to the live organism, the live bacteria that you guys are growing in your house, now that you have a name to it, ask yourself, like, am I still gonna be calling her all types of stuff? Like I just cannot believe you guys. Look at all of these comments. Like, you guys are nuts. But yeah, and an over buildup of lactic acid in your body can have the worst effect on your body. You guys have no idea. You have to stop being so gun-ho to jump on board of every fad that you guys see online, because on YouTube made a platform where anybody can get on here and tell you anything that they want to tell you, whether they are licensed and certified in the area or not. And if they're pretty enough and if their hair is already long enough, people automatically believe them, and then they'll go around fighting and being nasty over things, and they don't even have facts. I didn't see one person even give me the scientific name for rice water. I didn't see anybody bring up lactic acid bacteria or the scientific name. Do your research. Like I told you guys in my last video, this lactic acid didn't come up because I assumed that the 50 million times I told you guys to do your research, that you would figure out what it was. Because when you go search what is rice water, lactic acid bacteria pops up. That's the very first thing. How to grow lactic acid bacteria, or how to grow that word that I'm not about to say. Yes, okay? I love you guys so much. I don't know if this the rooter in your tootie or if y'all still mad or what, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. I love you guys so much. If you're not doing so already, make sure you are subscribed here to my channel, and once you subscribe, make sure you click that bell notification so you are notified. Make sure you click that bell notification so you are notified every time I post a new video. And lastly, make sure, if you are not doing so already, you are following me on Instagram and subscribe to my website, because even if you do not get the notification here for a new post from me, you will still get it on my website, okay? I love you guys so much. I said that already. I love y'all. Y'all can't even get smart.
Like, oh, she mad.
Because like I said, y'all growing lactic acid bacteria or whatever this word is in your house. Bye.